Hello, this is Ryan with Ready Rhino 1, and we'll be continuing our playthrough of Skyrim. Last we left off, I had cleared out Ember Shard Mine, put everything into my house storage, and then that's about it. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have sold all that stuff. 900 is pretty good. I could probably go and buy the rest of what I need, and that wouldn't be a bad idea just to get it off my mind. But the idea we're going to be doing now is we're going to be heading to Windhelm in just a second. Taking a carriage to Windhelm, and then we'll be traveling southeast to Kynes Grove, meeting up with Delphine, and then fighting a newly resurrected dragon. So that will be fun. Good, Proventus is here, so I can talk to him and get my stuff. And I said I don't want the child's room because that replaces the alchemy lab. But I do want dining and, yeah, dining room decorations. So I'll still about 400 plus left over, which isn't bad. 465, not bad at all. Let's save that. So that completes the house in Whiterun, Breeze Home, I think it's called. So now that that's done, we have everything we need in there. So now we need to head to Windhelm, then to Kynes Grove. I know it's not too far, but I mean, why run through the city? Alright, so let's go ahead and get our carriage ride. Well, yes, I would like to. I was afraid I'm gonna like accidentally choose the wrong one. Windhelm. Sometimes the choice menu gets messed up, and it only captures keyboard inputs and not the mouse. I haven't quite figured that out. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I don't even know. Like I know with Steam games, they sometimes just update in the background, and I don't even know that they've updated. But I don't think Bethesda hasn't patched Skyrim in a while. But I thought, I don't have the mod on here, but I remember at one time I had a mod that was like an unofficial patch, which is actually, it's been somewhat of a theme with Bethesda games. There will be unofficial patches disguised as mods that the community kind of puts together, and it's because, I don't know, Blizzard's very slow to update their games patch some of their games. They come out with a couple, after day one, but after that they just don't bother. And so then you get these little tiny things, and honestly, they're not like game crashing bugs. I mean, those exist too, but a lot of times it's just like small quality of life things. Four times out of 10, this NPC gets stuck here during this quest line, right? So then someone we'll just do like a mod that, where am I going? We'll do a mod that, basically offsets the NPC or just places an invisible object that's like angled so the NPC will easily move around it. Just stuff like that. And it's something where Blizzard isn't going to really like take time, and they have to pull a dev or two off, and they have to run everything through their development pipeline, right? So someone has to check out the code, someone has to figure out what they're going to do, they have to discuss how they're going to do it, and then they actually have to do it, then it's going to be test, and there's regressive testing, and this whole thing before it finally gets committed and rebuilt and then published, and it could just take hours and hours and hours, days even, to put all that together, and so a lot of times they just don't bother. They just don't do it, and so then you get, good, I'll get that. So they just don't bother doing it, right? So that's right. So Alduin, yeah. Anyways, they just don't bother doing the patch, but then someone else just kind of runs it with a mod, and just makes it happen, and then that's the end of it. So it kind of works out. I don't think I have an unofficial patch mod on this game. All right, so Alduin just resurrected this guy out of the burial ground, and fortunately for us, he's going to fly away after giving instructions to this dragon on what he's supposed to be doing. And then we have to fight him. I was going to get a sip of coffee, but I don't know if I have enough time. There we go. Come on. Come back down here. The worst part is when, for whatever reason, they like a goat or a rabbit draws their aggro, and then they fly like farther away just to do that. So I realize I think the difficulty I have may be set to really low. That's why I'm not dying to these things, because normally when you have it on regular, these dragons aren't exactly super easy like this. But I'm not really doing this for a challenge. I just want to kind of play through the game real quick. My normal playthroughs, I'm just like hitting all the side quests, you know, becoming head of whatever guilds, and eventually I'll get around to doing a side quest. But since we're doing this as like a recording for, you know, the YouTube channel, I'm just kind of like not really worrying about all that other stuff. Maybe later I can do a replay through and do all the other stuff. But, you know, for now we're just going to run through this. I even thought about, to make this playthrough even quicker, there is a mod that allows you to convert dragon souls into perks. Honestly, I kind of like that. Only because I may not do it simply because I'm trying to play through and you don't really need to do that. But like if you're doing like a full playthrough, you're trying to do everything, you end up killing so many dumb dragons. And, you know, there's only so many shouts. So, you know, you end up with like this massive amount of dragon souls kind of stored up, and you don't know what else to do with them. And the only thing you can actually do, and this is kind of a time sink, where you, once you max out the skills in a certain skill tree, not all the perks, but you can reset. You'll reset them and let you retrain. You get your perks back, and then you can retrain that skill and therefore get higher levels. And eventually, by doing that, you can completely max out, because you get a perk for every level, right? And so by resetting the skill tree, you can then gain levels by retraining it. You get another 100 things, right? So you get another 10 levels per skill tree. But that so by doing that, all I'm saying is you can get all the perks, but it's just a massive time sink, and it's almost not as interesting. The enemies do scale with your level, so I mean, you do run into the things, but I think it gets a little bit kind of like, I don't know, it's not super great towards the end. And so anyways, being able to convert dragon souls into perk points makes it so you can still get all the perks in the game after leveling everything up, but at the same time, you know, you're not like dumping massive amounts of hours into everything. So it's a decent trade-off. You can, because this game is like either really short or long or really, really, really long. So it's quite the exponential curve. And I don't mind a long game, but I don't really like the really, really, really long one. So having that mod, to me, kind of brings it back into the realm of I'm not minding this so much. Alright, let's see. Pre-uploaded bow of soul snares. I'm going to orcish bow at 11. Yeah, that's kind of nice. But I might have to have archery up high in order to kill things in a single hit. And I'm not quite there yet, so I'm not going to really worry about soul trapping here. Alright. So I was able to get Stormcloak Cirrus. I thought it was the Windhelm. Stormcloaks are nothing. You get so many of those, unless of course you play for the Stormcloaks. Even then you can probably get that too. There's a lot of death in the Civil War aspect of this game, which we will not be doing. The Civil War part, I don't know, it's not, to me it wasn't ever like super interesting, so I never really cared so much about it. So I'll probably not be doing that. Traditionally I always put my potions in here. Let's see, I'll put 4 down, I don't want that. All those. Yeah. Okay, then I'll put some food in here. Interesting. I'll probably get that out later. What books did I pick up? Cool. Alright. Yeah, having to having to organize everything is kind of fun. I don't know. I just like collecting and hoarding things. Better in game than in real life, though. All right, should be good. All right. So this next part, let me double check. I think this next part I have to infiltrate the Thalmor embassy, posing as a guest, and you have to give up all of your stuff and be completely unarmed, and then you get your stuff back later, and you got to run through and get some stuff. The reason I don't like this is it's a tad long, so I'm probably not going to do it in this recording. I'll wait to the next recording to do that quest. So I'll probably just go out and, like, I don't know, find like a random place to kind of like run through and kill a bunch of bandits and stuff. Yeah, meet okay. Diplomatic community. So this one's annoying. Only because well, potentially two reasons. One reason is it can be difficult. There's a lot of Thalmor, and they're heavily armed, and you have to really run through, and you have to kill. You can't just run from everything. You got to kill some people there. So it's, if at a higher difficulty, it's actually somewhat challenging. It's not the worst, but it can be. You definitely want to prepare for it. But the big thing is, and maybe that's just me, but I have had a terrible time with it glitching a lot. And it gets right up to the end where you're trying to escape, and the person that you're supposed to escape with, because he has to open, I think, the hatch to get out, and he just doesn't, and I don't know why. And the quests will not progress, and it's just upsetting. I hate it so much. So I have never really liked it. So, and again, it takes a little bit of time. It's not bad though. So I passed by Fulgunthar, whatever, earlier, didn't do anything about it, received a courier message about it, which is kind of dumb. I just remembered, I think there's someone waiting in here and I have to basically follow them through, or maybe a team of people. I really just want a place to kill a bunch of bandits, take all their things, and run out. This might actually be kind of a quest area here. Adventure. Yeah, this one's a quest type place. This I don't think I can do. Maybe I can, I just don't remember. You do have to get the claw. I'm not gonna worry about it. There's other places I can go. Out there. Stone Hills, maybe. Well, I know what I can do. Let's see, Ember Shard. Helgen and Falkreath. Actually, Pelagia. There's like a tower here. It's a short little one. I gotta run it or hoof it, you know. But it's not too bad. There we go. I'm really considering putting that mod in about the Dragon Souls for perks, just to speed this all along. So I'm gonna hold on to my Dragon Souls. The other thing too is, like, the Dragon Souls are primarily just used for activating shouts that you get, and to be honest, there's not a lot of shouts that do a whole lot. I mean, there's a couple that are useful. So, like, it's not Whirlwind Spirit, but there's one that I think has wind in the name, but basically it makes it to where that you can attack faster. And if you're dual wielding and you have a high, high one-handed blade weapons kind of thing, or just one-handed weapons, you can do some serious damage. Like real damage, and that's kind of fun. And it's also actually good for mining because you can put you can dual wield pickaxes, and you can just start attacking, like double hitting a vein, and it will actually mine. You don't have to sit there and hit your use key and then wait for it to sit there and slowly mine resources out of the vein. You can just start attacking it with a pickaxe, and it will start, it'll give you things. It wastes stamina though, but if you're the warrior type and you have been putting points into stamina anyway, you end up with a pretty decent pool, and then you have that wind spirit or something, whatever that shout is, and then your dual wielding picks, you can like burn through a vein, an ore vein, like super quick. So there's that. If you're playing on harder difficulties, I think the shouts become way more important. Oh, and there's one that weakens weakens your target. So that one I think comes about if you're doing. I should be going this way. That one comes about if you're doing the Dark Brotherhood missions. You will come across some word walls in its quest line that give you. It's like it leeches life, it weakens armor, it blah blah blah. Quicksilver, not bad. It will do all that kind of stuff, and that one is actually useful. And honestly, of all the shouts, I think that was the one I was always using. I didn't use Fusro Da. I used the Whirlwind Spear to just kind of get around, but once you get enough fast travel locations, it almost doesn't matter as much. Yeah, I would use the one that kind of weakens. Was there not a third one? There we are. Bouncer. I don't remember this at all. Oh, Christ. Okay. Well, I didn't know about that. So there is a pit wolf. Yeah. So there is a cave somewhere where they have basically dog fighting, and that's the only place that I could even think that it would be something like a bouncer. But yeah, when you said about the wolves and those are pit wolves, like, oh yeah, okay. I just didn't know that there was a little bit of a preamble to all that. I just thought that you just kind of came across it and it was like, oh, you're an underground dogfighting ring. Wow, I'm way off course. Let's just find, yep, let's go kill some Draugr. But yeah, so in terms of shouts, it's like that was the only one I really ever used. I really can't think of another one I used. I think I used Become Ethereal one time to get out of a bind. I think I used Throw Voice during a Thieves Guild mission. I think this is part of a quest. Well, oh no. It is part of the quest, but this is part of the Civil War quest line. You have to come here to get the Jagged Crown, I believe it is. And that's about it. But until then, it's full of bandits. During the quest line, though, all the bandits are dead, I believe. Because if you're doing the Imperials, then you're going to be here. The Stormcloaks will have gotten here before you did, and they clear out the bandits. I should have known, since I killed the bandit chief outside, that this would not have been cleared. Ugh. Anyways, you come here, bandits are all dead because the Stormcloaks got here before you did, and then you just kind of run and gun until you get to the end, and you kill a not Dreadlord, but whatever they call him, Master. one thing about the lock picking system in this game is it's possible um, to actually open up master being like at the lowest level possible. It's all it's all very much technique. I'm really close on that. There we go. I think in other Elder Scrolls games, you... Oh, yeah. So, like in Morrowind, in order to do lock picking, you had to... You were basically just like, you would use your lockpick on the chest or the door, and it would tell you if you succeeded or not. So you were essentially just rolling dice. You know, kind of like in a normal like a D&D kind of campaign. You have a difficulty check that had a high DC level on the chest or on the door, and then you were just kind of like, you know, well, roll the dice, and we'll take your lockpicking skill into consideration and determine if that, even if you roll like a 20, a natural 20, you still might not do it because your skill is just too low. And that was kind of the deal. I think with Morrowind, even if you, I forgot, it would say like it was too hard. So I think they detected whether or not you rolled your best. Given your, if you rolled your very best, it would still say like, well, this isn't going to happen for you. Because, you know, this is your best. You rolled a crit, like a natural 20. We added your skill level and against the DC check on this thing, and it's not happening. Like, it was impossible for you to have won. And they're just letting you know, like, this is beyond your skill. But it would still let you, like, sit there and use the pick. And the picks, of course, would break. They had durability, so you can only use a pick an X amount of times before it basically just broke on you. So that made it a little bit difficult. And then in Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4, Matron. In Elder Scrolls 4, you had tumblers, which is how an actual lock works, and you had to pop the tumblers up and lock them in place as you kind of like worked through the set of tumblers. And so there's a little more skill in that, and I think you could still pick high level locks. I don't remember though, but if they just told you like, well, your lock picking skill isn't high enough, you can't even attempt. I don't remember. I honestly don't. It's been so long since I've played Oblivion. I honestly just cannot remember how that all kind of worked. I just remember the tumblers and stuff. But in Skyrim, you can just pick any lock you want. You know, it doesn't matter what your skill is, and like the only thing that could make picking the lock easier is if you have any perks to lock picking, and that's it. Yeah. So like they have like a, if you think about because you know the lock itself is a circle, so if you think about like a pie, for the lower the lock level, the bigger the slice of pie is on there, and if you position your pick within that slice of the pie, you can open the lock. And these perks, like novice locks, are much easier to pick. They basically just increase the size of that pie, so you can find the sweet spot or find that slice of pie easier, and of course open things up. And so that's how it decreases the difficulty of the locks. So like a master level lock is a very, very thin slice of pie. You got like, I think this is anecdotal. I think it feels like it's about 3 to 4 pixels wide. It's very difficult to get into mastered. I've done it for so many times that I've gotten better at it. And they give you other stuff too, like yeah, the pick starts close to lock opening position. Your locks never break, which is kind of nice. But honestly, when you get further into the game, you have so many lock picks, it doesn't even matter. Um, these are the good ones, right? In terms of this tree, I mean, finding better treasure in these things is pretty good. Um, yeah, find more gold. Um, that one's nice if you're doing thieving, but I mean, honestly, this one's nice because I mean, it eliminates you even having once you've picked it, you don't have to pick it again. I don't think it works for chests. I think that's mainly for doors. All right, let's see. What should I do? So alchemy is one where if you do this one, 20% stronger, which means that you can sell them for more money. So there's something to do with that. But the problem is you can burn through merchants' money, and then it becomes just kind of like, well, whatever, until you get really far into this. Every merchant in the world gains 1,000 gold, 1,000 more gold for bartering. And you can then also invest additional gold. And any merchant will buy anything. Yeah, and you can also barter fence things. Those are really nice. And I mean, that's why I don't really spend too much time. Like, oh, I can sell potions for more money, but then the problem is no one's got any money, and you have to kind of travel all over creation just to find people who will buy your stuff. But speech has a great tree for getting more money. The problem is it's really hard to level speech. Now it didn't used to be. You could cheese it. There's a guy in Riften where I think you could just continuously intimidate or continuously try to persuade. And it was kind of the dialogue tree was broken for him. It kind of bugged, so you could just continuously intimidate or persuade or whatever, and so you would just level your speech like super quick if you did that, all the way to 100, and then you could invest and stuff like that. It made the game a little bit easier and very lucrative. But they patched that. I almost wish there was a mod that undid that. But honestly, you can just set your speech skill to super high or something like that. You can give yourself experience and just make it happen. Alright, so let's see. Do I? Oh, I do not. I don't like specializing just yet. I kind of wish I would, though, because that's kind of nice. This is nice. It scales really well. At some point, you kind of level off the amount of damage you're doing, but people you fight have better armor. This one just ignores armor, so it scales really well. I don't think that's as good, because you cause bleeding damage, but it's based on like how much damage you do over time, and it's like if everyone scales up in their armor and their health, then it just becomes, it's a diminishing return, whereas like with the mace, you ignore a ton of their armor, and that basically just opens it up. Now you're just like burning through their health pool to get to things. Really. I may have to, I'll probably wait. Get that. It's a little difficult. Well, I thought I was going to actually spend a point, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop for right now. When I come back, we'll probably sort some stuff in the home, and then we're going to move on to Diplomatic Community and continue on the main quest line. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.